Good morning and welcome to Cucina Pazzo. This morning we're going to make some keto donuts. So my mom loves donuts, but she can't have wheat, soy, and dairy. So the fried donuts are kind of out, and this is the perfect recipe I think that she's really going to like. I'm going to show you step by step how I make it, and we're going to go from here. So the oven is set at 350 on convection, so that's 375 for all those people who have a regular oven. I'm gonna move this down so you can see my bowl. In here I have 1 cup of silk cashew milk. We're going to add 1/3 cup of, this is the Myokos butter to this. Now I did heat this milk up. The milk is hot. So our goal is to get this butter to melt in there. We're gonna add some eggs in there. So we're gonna start off with the wet ingredients first. You know, it's not normally what you're used to seeing when you do recipes, but this is more, I think, probably of a French way of putting things together. How we're going to fold the eggs in, at least. So we've got this in like so. So that's starting to melt. So this is the Myokos butter. It's an oat milk butter. It's got half the fat of regular butter. I've gotten so used to it. You know, I had butter just the other day, just a little bit, and I'll be honest, I think they taste really close to the same. So, all right, we'll give this a little whisk. Okay, in this bowl here, we have some eggs. So we're gonna temper these eggs, and then you just don't wanna add the eggs to the hot liquid. So we're gonna give this a little bit of a stir. All right, we're gonna set this off to the side, and we're just gonna pour a little bit in there as we're stirring, like so. The eggs I had were room temperature, so keep adding. Your whole goal is not to cook the eggs. You wanna keep moving just a little bit. Okay, and if you get to this point here, it's probably mostly milk. Then we could swap it into here. All right. Help incorporate our eggs into the bowl. So that looks a lot trickier than it is. It's really not that tricky. So in here, we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So I've got a really nice Mexican vanilla that I'm using. So I think I got this on Amazon. It was a really, really good price. All right, so we got the eggs, we've got the butter, we've got the cashew milk. All right, to this we're gonna add, we're gonna set this aside. We're gonna get a little bowl and use, and set our flours together. So, in this bowl here, I am almost out of almond flour. So the recipe I have calls for almond flour, but we're going to use cashew flour. So very similar. As a matter of fact, I think the cashew flour, believe it or not, is a little bit finer and a little bit drier. So 1 cup in the bowl. Sorry for all the loud banging. And I got this, I think, probably at Fred Meyer's. So, and coconut flour. We're gonna add 1/4 cup of coconut flour. Coconut flour absorbs a lot of liquid. So keep that in mind if you're creating your own recipes. A lot of these recipes I'll find online, I'll make them my own and change things on them. I'm not real big on coconut flour. You know, I think it's really hard to work with, but in moderation, it's fine. So if you're just using a little bit, it's fine. If you're using straight coconut flour, I find it really, really hard to work with. So, and baking powder, we're gonna put a teaspoon in there. So nothing real tricky. Okay, got that in there. So we've got xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is it has a real chemical sounding name. This is not a man-made product. This is something that occurs naturally, and I apologize. I don't know where it comes from, but it's a thickener, and it's not like cornstarch. It does thicken things up, but it is vegan. It's all natural. So we are going to put a teaspoon of that in there as well. So, all right, got that in there, nothing too tricky. Give that a stir, break up all the lumps. So the baking powder in there, double acting baking powder, it's all double acting. So double acting means that the first action it's going to do is when it gets wet. Second action it's going to do is when it gets hot. So this batter, if I just put this batter together, it will start bubbling, kind of like a pancake if you let it sit. So, and we're gonna let this sit for a couple minutes as I'm making I'm gonna show you how I make the maple frosting on here. So, all right, let's see, which way are we gonna do this? All right, we've got our egg mixture sitting right here. I think you could see it better from this. All right. Right, pour it all in there. Set that bowl aside. Okay, see how fast that thickened up? It wasn't necessarily the xanthan gum that was in there. That was the coconut flour absorbing all that liquid. So like any flour that you deal with, it doesn't matter if it's regular all-purpose flour, coconut flour, almond flour, doesn't matter. You got to let it sit and do what it needs to do. So, all right, we've got plenty of batter there. We're going to swap spots here, and we're going to talk about the maple glaze that we're going to put on there. So this is the maple syrup that I use. So Lakanto. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to guesstimate in there. All right, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in there. We're going to have 2 tablespoons of butter. Again, I'm going to use the Myokos butter. Okay, 1 tablespoon of the silk cashew milk. All right, we've got some brown sugar that's going to go in there. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in there. Okay, we have a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We have a teaspoon of maple extract. I know this is a giant container. And then we have 3/4 cup confectioner sugar that we're going to put in there. So this is what I have here. It's by Lakanto. So I think it's monk fruit and erythritol. Yeah. So we're going to have 3 of these we're putting in there. 1. This might be more glaze than I actually need to make for this. It's been a while since I've made this recipe, but the donuts come out just absolutely amazing. So okay, I'm gonna have to heat this up just a little bit to get everything to combine. I just wanted you to see what it looks like at this stage. So we're gonna set this aside, and I will show you I'm I'm just gonna put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to get everything heated up on it right before. Okay, so let me move some things aside here. Butter out of the way. So in this, I have a piping bag sitting right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. This is starting to look a little fluffy, or fluffier, I should say. Put this into the piping bag. You could use a plastic Ziploc bag and cut the little end off. I just happen to have piping bags because once in a while I'll make a cake. Jacking that up pretty high. All right, got that full. Get off. There we go. The batter right now tastes really nice and light. Okay. And this batter here is warm, just to keep that in mind. So I don't have any oil or anything on this parchment. Keep in mind these are going to rise a little bit. I'm going to make these kind of small so they're more like finger-sized donuts. Maybe more even like an eclair. So if you press a little harder, they will get a lot bigger on the plate. These will take like 15-20 minutes to cook. They will fluff up a little bit. Whoops. Talking and not paying attention here. The eggs will help hold them up in place, so eggs are kind of crucial for this recipe. I'm sure there are some ways to do this without eggs. I'm not completely eggless in my diet. Stay together. I'm trying to use up all the batter I can on one piece of parchment. All right, going in the oven, and again, I have mine at 350 degrees on convection. Yours will be 375 on a regular oven, and I'll be back. All right, we're back at Cucina Pazzo, and our little mini donuts have puffed up a little bit in the oven. Little eclair-like donuts. I taste tested one. They are really light and fluffy. You see the difference. It looks a little more brown. It's a lot thinner when you heat it up. You don't need to heat it up a lot, but hopefully you could put multiple spoonfuls. You take a spoonful and just give it a nice coat like so. And then I'm going to go over this again, each one of these with just another spoonful. Make sure they're nice and coated on there. I've got some bacon in the oven, so my mom can have some maple bacon bars. Might crisp some up after they're fully cooked. Crumble them on top. There we are, breakfast at Cucina Pazzo.